And for more on the Super Eagles' preparations for the African Cup of Nations, I'm being joined by Osage Ikine, a football analyst and enthusiast. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Osage, how prepared do you think the Super Eagles are, and can the team win AFCON again?
I think the Super Eagles, we don't typically prepare well for tournaments. And when we least expect it, that's when we deliver. It's the hope that normally kills. Our last 4 matches, we've only won one of them. And the optimist would say that we're unbeaten in our 4 previous matches, but actually we've won 1 and drawn 3, losing none. But at the end of the day, it's really about that togetherness and the team. And hopefully it's something that we can do. We haven't won it since 2013. So that's 11 years now. So that's it. I think it's time for us to be top of Africa once again.
So who do you think are Nigeria's biggest challengers against the trophy?
So Nigeria is currently ranked 6th in Africa. So the top 5 in Africa, 4 of which are the big 4 North African countries. So you have Morocco, you have Tunisia, Egypt, and Algeria. Morocco, obviously, we all saw what they did at the last World Cup, where they got to the semi-finals, the first African team to do that. But they haven't won the AFCON since 1976. So it's going to be a tough ask. Senegal are the 2nd in Africa, and they are the defending champions. And obviously, they have Sadio Mane, their talismanic striker. But no team has defended the Nations Cup since 2006, I believe, when Egypt did it. So it's going to be a tough ask for Senegal. And again, the other good thing that I guess applies for Nigeria, North African teams don't really do well when the tournament is hosted in West Africa. And Ivory Coast is the host this year. And so hopefully we'll see a West African team picking up the trophy, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that team is Nigeria as well.
All right, Osage, I know you mentioned a couple of contenders, but where do you see the team struggling the most?
Right now, at the back. We've been struggling to keep clean sheets. So our goalkeepers and our defenders have not really lived up to the billing. We've struggled to replace or find a very adequate replacement for Vincent Enyama since he retired in 2015. And if you look at it, that's 9 years now where Nigeria has not really had a steady number 1. And of course, if you don't have a steady number 1 behind you, that affects the rest of the back line. So defending wise, we've really struggled. I think that's our biggest weakness. What we can just hope to do is be like the Galacticos and score more than the opponents, because I don't really see us keeping clean sheets in this tournament.
Okay, let's talk a bit about coaching now. Do you think the Super Eagles have been well utilized under the current coach?
I'm not the biggest supporter of the current coach. Jose Peseiro has a 42% winning record as the coach of Nigeria, which is poor, considering the talent that he has at his disposal. Again, he's only coached 14 matches for Nigeria. And sometimes with international football, it's difficult because all your players tend to go and play for their clubs. So there isn't really enough time for the team to come together and gel. So I don't think he's done well with the team that he has at his disposal. But again, Nigeria is tournament rusty. We haven't qualified for, we haven't played tournament football since 2021. So it will be difficult to, I guess, judge him ahead of his first major tournament. So it's too late right now to change anything. So is the hope to go forward, see what he can put together with the 24-man that he has chosen, and see where that takes us.
Osage, would you keep faith with Uzoho when it comes to goals, bearing in mind that form is temporal, but class is permanent?
Francis is the only goalkeeper we have in the squad that has tournament experience. The other 2, Stanley Wabili plays in South Africa, and Leke Ojo plays for Eimba. So really, I mean, the logical choice would be to go with Francis Uzoho as the number 1 goalkeeper. But again, I would argue that sometimes you have to make radical changes and radical choices Vincent Enyama burst onto the scene in the 2002 World Cup as a home-based player and went on to be Nigeria's #1, for the next 13 years until his retirement. So Jose could be, radical and decide to give one of the other two lads, a chance, given that Uzo has not really lived up to expectation in his role as #1.
All right, thank you so much for your expertise on the news. Osagie Ikine, an enthusiastic football analyst. Thank you once again.